Insiders, this is a special presentation of CBS4 Sports.
Wow. Hey, can somebody jump on the internet and give me Cutler's quarterback rating, please?
I don't use computer.
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 I use book. I don't use computer.
I use wrench. I don't use computer.
Ah, but I do have computer. Tonight on Southwest Airlines All Access, former Steeler Chad Brown in studio to chat up the championship games. What makes Pittsburgh so tough? And why are people questioning Jay Cutler's toughness?
Didn't really plan to throw, so, they kind of pulled me.
The fans packed the house to see Peter the Great today. We'll go one-on-one with his biggest fan.
This is like 12-year-old Matt's dream, and I said, yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Plus, CU Hoops. Yes, we're actually talking about CU Hoops again. All Access starts right now.
I don't use computer.
And you don't need a computer.
From CBS4 Sports, this is Southwest Airlines All Access. Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com.
Welcome, sports fans. We welcome former Steeler Chad Brown to the show. First question, do you use a computer?
Yes, I do.
Just checking.
And I do email.
Want to make sure, because we have a lot of thoughts tonight that are pretty hot on the computer on Twitter tonight. First off, Jay Cutler. I mean, you saw some of the fan reaction, even the player reaction. When a guy gets injured, do you question his injury?
In this situation, you just can't. Like, Jay Cutler does not want to play in the Super Bowl. That's absurd.
I know.
Now, his body language and his demeanor on the sideline, I think he should have sold the injury a little bit more just to ease those concerns about his toughness. But, obviously the guy wants to play. He's a competitor.
People will argue Phillip Rivers played in the playoffs with a torn ACL. Tom Brady played a couple games with a broken foot. Players have done it before. Why not Jay?
To go into the game and prepare all week for that with the training staff and take some painkiller medications before the game, that's one way to go about it. But to try to get that done during the game is very difficult to do.
And that's happened to you before. You've had to leave a game because of an injury.
I didn't leave a playoff game. When Seattle played Green Bay, when Matt Hasselbeck said we're going to win at the overtime coin toss, I was injured in the second quarter of that game and couldn't compete.
Did the doctors pull you, or was that your decision?
There was no way I could have played. I could have taken all the painkillers in the world. There was no way I could have played with my injury.
How come people didn't rip you on Twitter?
Because I'm not Jay Cutler. I'm not here in Denver.
Well, listen to some of the reaction from fellow players. This is Derek Brooks, who's a future Hall of Famer. Quote, "There is no medicine for a guy with no guts and no heart."
That's harsh.
Deion Sanders, "I never question a player's injury, but I do question a player's heart." Maurice Jones-Drew, "All I'm saying is that he can finish the game on a hurt knee. I played the whole season on one." Are you surprised that he's getting this from fellow players?
I am surprised by that. I'd like to get the results first. I know he's going to get some MRIs and some of those type of exams. Let's see what the results are before we start making judgments.
Here's what his teammates thought. Brian Urlacher after the game.
Jay was hurt. I don't question his toughness. He's one of the toughest guys around. He's tough as hell. He's one of the toughest guys on our football team. He doesn't bitch. He doesn't complain when he gets hit. He goes out there and plays off every Sunday. He practices every single day. So, no, we don't question his toughness.
I'll leave it at this, Chad, maybe because we got to know him here in Denver, but this is a guy who played an entire season with undiagnosed diabetes, okay? He had diabetes. He lost close to 30 pounds. He played through that, and now you're going to question his toughness?
I think his toughness card is well punched.
Very well said, yeah.
Just from the diabetes alone.
Okay, on the other side, the Steelers and Jets, you saw that game today. The Steelers jump out to a 24-3 lead in the first half. There's something about a physical running game that always trumps a fancy passing game, especially this time of year.
You can control the clock, and you can control the will of the other team. You can impose your will upon them with a powerful running game.
All right, tell us about the Steeler way, because everybody used to talk about the Patriot way. What is the Steeler way, and why are they always so successful? You were there for years.
It starts at the top. It starts with Mr. Rooney and the management of the team, and they understand what it is to win football games. They understand how to do it. They've had a long history of it, and they don't change their model very much. Even the coaches they bring in, they want them there for a long time. Steelers have had 3 coaches in the last 35, 40 years, something ridiculous like that. So that type of consistency leads to consistency and on the field.
And you mentioned doing it with defense. I think the Steelers have patented the strip sack. We saw it in this game. Turned out to be probably the play of the game because they jump out to that big lead. Here's Mark Sanchez going back to pass, and boom, there's the ball on the ground. You practice that in the NFL, don't you?
You do practice that. Obviously, with the Steelers defense, with the way they attack the quarterback, the way they blitz, stripping the ball from the quarterback is what they do. It's what they're taught. Is what every young linebacker and DB and defensive lineman goes into that system is taught. You just don't want to get the quarterback down and want the ball. The ball is the most important part of the play.
All right, Packers are favored by 2.5 in the Super Bowl. Who do you like?
I got to go Steelers. I got to go Steelers.
Because you played there or because of the way they play?
Because of the way they play. Now, obviously, there's a lot of Steeler folks over in Green Bay. Darren Perry, the DB coach, Don Capers, defensive coordinator. He was my defensive coordinator when I was with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I think these teams know each other pretty well. There's even some personnel from both teams. So the emotion of it, the ego of it, former Steeler of it, says Steelers. The football-wise, separating all of that, I still say Steelers.
All right, quickly, Chet, I know you had some doubts about whether John Elway would be able to make the transition to executive. We know what he was as a player. Has he gotten your attention yet with the moves he's made?
Doubts is a big word. I have all the respect in the world for John Elway. Skepticism, just because of the track record of other people in that same situation.
All right, but the fact that he hired John Fox, that he's moving so quickly, did he win you over yet?
He's in the process. Now, he's got this draft coming up, and this will be a very interesting decision that he's got to make. Do you keep the second pick? Do you trade down? Do you get more value? We'll see what he does his first time around.
You have plenty of time to talk about it tomorrow morning on the radio show.
Yes, I do.
You and Darius Walker filling in for me and Gary.
Yeah, it should be a good time.
Do us proud, my man.
I'll keep you hot.
Thank you, Chad. Chad Brown. Up next on Southwest Airlines All Access. Went to an abs practice and a reunion party broke out. Peter still packs him in. Does he ever?